Hi everyone, welcome to Lauren's Scrap Lot and to my September monthly card club. So if you have placed an order online via my website, laurenurbonus.stampinup.net during September, or if you've signed up to be part of my monthly class and you just couldn't attend in person, you are going to receive a little packet of project pieces so that you can work alongside me and finish the projects that I'm going to show you. If you're somebody who's just watching this month, because I did decide to post it for you, then you can still take advantage of receiving all of the pre-prep materials simply by placing an order of $40 or more before shipping and tax, and then I'll send this kit out to you. So I'm going to start off with a few little announcements, then I'll show you how to do the projects that I have in store for you today. So, announcement number one, many of you have been asking and drooling over this catalog, but our holiday catalog is now live. So this guy came into effect on September 3rd. There are also some online exclusive products available. There's two great kits, and if you flip open the catalog here, there's a little sneak peek on page 7. This little kit, this is one of the kits that was available starting this month. We still haven't seen this one yet, but I'm assuming it's probably coming out next month because it's being displayed in the holiday catalog. So make sure to go online. Oh, and this garland. This is another kit that came out last month. Make sure to go online and just type in online exclusives, or you can click the button that says happening now, online exclusives. You'll be able to see there's some sweets, there's some stamps, there's some papers that are not in this catalog, but this catalog is chock full of beautiful sweets and products. So I hope that you have already flipped through it and made your wish lists. If you are in Canada at all and you don't have a demonstrator, send me a note. I'm happy to put you on my catalog mailing list, and we can get you set up with your own account and your own catalog as well. If you're in Edmonton, they are on my front porch. You can come and pick one of these up anytime. And along with this catalog, of course, you can still order from the annual catalog. All of that great product set is still available. So anything you're interested in, you can order from this guy until the end of December. Inside the front of this catalog, you will find a class schedule. So every quarter, I put a class schedule up, so don't lose heart. I'm not quitting after December. I just do my catalog calendars according to each catalog publication, basically. So I'm just going to briefly go over what we have going on. If you're looking at this catalog here, you'll notice that September through December all have this thing called Monthly Club, and that is what tonight is about. So on the second Tuesday and second Wednesday of the month, I host an in-person event at my house. The class cost is $20, or of course it's free with a $40 purchase. And then those who offer or opt to join club for 6 months have the option to either place an order every month for 6 months, and then they'll get a $50 shopping spree at the end of it, or they can just commit to 6 months and they pay only $15 for their kits. So it's a nice little perk. All of these kits can be mailed out across Canada. So if you're interested in more information, just let me know. And for those of you who do come monthly, just a note, please take a look at November, because we do have a meeting during the first week of the month instead of the second week of the month. So I will remind you again, but just to take note of that. Then I'm going to briefly go over what we have going on for specialty classes. So every month I like to host a specialty class, and they all have different themes. So September's specialty class is a surprise prize bingo. That's going to be next Tuesday, and the cost is $45. It includes 10 rounds of bingo where all the prizes are coming from this holiday catalog or the online exclusives, and you will come away with a small little make and take, very simple, and an all attendee gift as well. I always say the more people I have registered for this event, the better the prizes get, because it's always 10 rounds of bingo, and the more of you that are involved, the better. If you are not in Edmonton or you can't come to my house that night, you can tune in via a Zoom link, but I do need to know as soon as possible if you want a spot at that event, because I need to get your bingo cards in the mail if you're not here locally, or I need to have them out for you to pick up. So please let me know as soon as possible if you'd like to take part in that event. I would love to have you, whether in person or you can bingo in your pajamas from your living room, either way. So that's going to be next Tuesday. Then we've got some events that it doesn't actually matter if you can come in person to them. They all have to-go kits and you can complete the projects anytime. So October is my big one. It is my winter all-day crafting retreat. I do a spring one as well, but I pick 2 suites or bundles from the catalog and we play with them throughout the day. So we're going to play half of the day with one bundle and half of the day with the other. It doesn't matter once you start looking, if you're scanning this QR code and looking on my lists of registration options, it doesn't matter which stamp set you choose to take in your kit. You're going to play with all of the stuff. But I just realized that some of you you like one stamp or another, so I try to give you an option. And if you own both of the stamps that I'm about to show you, you can still do the event. You just sub in for a different stamp set of your choice. But included in your $105 registration, if you sign up before September 30th, you get a stamp set. So let me show you those 2, and I'll just remind you, if you're not taking advantage of early bird pricing, which ends September 30th, the event price is $120 then instead. So register soon. Even if you can't pay it all up front, that's okay. Pay a deposit. We'll do like a payment plan for every week or every couple weeks, get you squared up. You still get the early bird price, okay? So the 2 suites we're going to play with, the first half of the day is going to be with this Traditions of Christmas. And it is just so fun and vibrant. There's gold foil accents in the paper, and there's actually 2 bundles involved in this entire suite. The one that I'm offering to you is the traditional labels bundle, but of course, if you want the greenery one instead, I'll just work out the price difference. I've also given you the option to add on the dies when you register, because that gives you a 10% discount both on the stamp set and the dies at the same time. So lots of other fun things for you to check out, but this is the suite that we're going to play with for half of the day. And then the other suite that we're going to play with for the other half of the day is the North Pole Delivery Suite. So this one is amazingly adorable, and I may have already cracked into the paper and designed one of the projects already. But it's really, really cute. So of course you can choose the Jolly Delivery stamp set. You have the option of adding on the dies at an additional cost, as well as an optional Subway lunch. So I'll let you read through all of that. If you need the direct link because your QR code isn't working, then just message me. I would also love to get you on my email lists, because I send out all of these direct links to you at the beginning of each month. So message me your email address, I'll get you connected, and then you won't have to stress in the future about finding that information. But it's also on my Facebook page, okay? So this event, you do still have lots of time to sign up, but of course, time slips away from all of us, as we know. So if you want to come, let me know that you're coming, because I'd love to give you that $105 price as opposed to, you missing out on the early bird pricing. Then when we get into November and December, I have the much anticipated Stamp-A-Stack options. So what a Stamp-A-Stack is you will make a total of 16 cards from each of these events. All the cards are going to be different, so you can sign up for both of the events if you want 32 cards. But there will be 4 different designs at Stamp-A-Stack 1, and you'll make 4 of those cards. I try to modify them a little bit by switching out some colors or doing different designer papers so they look similar, but it's the same design. And same for Stamp-A-Stack 2. If you come in person, most of the time people will just make 1 of each of the cards and then take the rest of the pieces home to craft on their own. But you're welcome to sit down and just plug away on all of them. It's a great night just to visit and hang out with people. If you need to-go kits, then of course, it doesn't really matter to you which Stamp-A-Stack you sign up for, because you guys don't get to see the cards anyways. So I do apologize for that, but because it is also later in the season, sometimes I have to battle inventories being out of stock for something I've planned to use, and it just takes a little bit of pressure off of me, because 8 cards times 4 times 12 kits, and that's all I do for each event, is a lot of cards to do. So FYI, for these 2 events, I only make 12 kits for Stamp-A-Stack 1, and I only make 12 kits for Stamp-A-Stack 2, because I've already started making those. But we'll be playing with 4 different bundles for this one, so there'll be 4 different themes, 4 different themes for this one, so you get a nice array of cards. Also, I don't tell you guys which ones because at the end, sometimes I have to mix them around because every kit I want to have like a fun fold and a simpler card. And so I have to play with what I have in my brain and sort those cards out once I'm, packaging everything up. So you don't get to see what you're doing, but there'll be 4 cards. I'm happy to show you in the past what we've done so you can kind of see the idea. But those ones, I think, are already half sold out already. So if you want spots, let me know. Again, we can square up in dividends for those things. So any questions about any of these? I know it's a lot of announcements because it's the start of a new quarter, but let me know. I'm happy to chat with you. I'd love to get connected with you, and I'd love to craft with you soon. If you're looking for something free, then you found the right place. This is my Lauren Scraplot channel, and I post a new video every Tuesday evening for my Show Me How It's Done series, and I'm also doing the Great North American Stamping Show every Thursday evening from now until the end of November. So if you are at all interested in just free crafting along with me, you can check out my inventory of videos too. So subscribe to the channel because you'll get notified whenever I post something new. But for those of you with a kit, let's craft. All right, here is card number 1. Now this is a fun fold card. Actually, we're not starting with the simplest card like we usually do because that one's gonna get us a little inky. So I'm gonna start backwards. We're gonna do our fun fold card first. This one, however, if you look at it, it doesn't have to be a fun fold. You could simply take the Perfectly Pears designer series paper, cut out the dies, and combine it with the Everyday Arches die sets right here. If it will open, here we go. There's my dies, moving them all. These are the 2 I used, so you can see it's not the largest or second largest, it's the next 2. This would be the Secret C and then the white layer right there. So you could make your card like this, but the fun part that I'm going to show you is it's a fun fold. So just a little sad news for those of you who are kind of just watching. I don't give all the measurements step by step for these cards because everything's cut and prepped for my class attendees. They get a little envelope full of their materials, so I am not providing the measurements as we go, but of course you're welcome to check out the description on the video. They are listed there, or you can take advantage of a pre-prepped and pre-cut and pre-scored kit so that you can do this at home. Okay, I mentioned we're using the Perfectly Pears. This is an online exclusive set. So I've got a variety of sentiments that I can use. If I didn't have the designer paper, I could stamp and make my pears all different beautiful colors. But I use the designer paper and cut out the pears from there using some of these dies. They're great. They complement the paper perfectly, and I was able to get all of those die cuts from there. So let's assemble this together. Okay, don't work ahead. You're going to be tempted to, but that's why I showed you how it opened first. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with our card base and open that up. On the inside of that card base, we need something to write on. So that's going to be this gorgeous piece of beautiful basic white. This guy just gets attached right to the inside of our card. Oh, don't attach it yet. That's the key. Haha, here we go. Funny, Lauren. Okay, see this? We're tucking something under this white before we do anything. Okay, here we go. Turn this around. This is gonna be funny. We need to start with the arch. And do you see I've put a score line in here? So we're gonna fold on that line. If you've got a bone folder, that would be great. I have misplaced mine, so I will use this. There we go. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to do. Instead of opening our card kind of like the typical way, we're going to turn it upside down, and we're going to actually hide this guy over the front, put a little adhesive onto this back part, and connect this card. So when it opens, it will be connected to that back panel. Okay, so let's try that again. Put this arch over top of the middle or off to the side, whatever you want. And then flip it over and put some adhesive on the back here. You can do double-sided tape or some glue. If you do glue, it's a little trickier to keep going at a quick pace, so I do suggest some seal or some tape. Putting that on the back side of that little arch that I've already scored for you. And then you're going to close this card up. Okay, so when you open it, you should see this. Now that white panel is going to come into play. And you'll be able to cover most of this. It doesn't look too awkward. You're going to cover most of that. There you go. Okay, so, see? So pretty. While it's open, just because it's fun, you could always grab one of these little pears, maybe this guy here, and stamp that in the corner using a Secret C ink pad. Maybe I took it out already. It's out already somewhere, but put a little set of pears. They look cute. Now onto the front of our card. Leave this flap open because we need to do this part. Very, very simple, but you're going to take this perimeter piece that I stole the center out of. Shh, nobody has to know. And we're going to put dimensionals all around the edge of this piece. Okay? So I like to repurpose some of my cardstock, especially when it's hidden and nobody knows that you've actually taken the center out, because cardstock can add up, and it can also be very heavy if you're looking at weighing or mailing these things. So sometimes cutting and multi-purposing pages is not a bad thing. Here we go. One more. Don't forget to use the edges of all of your dimensional sheets. You can chop them up and they become extra dimensionals, or you can use them in big chunks too. That works as well. Don't forget to use them. I once went to a class when I was just starting out, and somebody just threw all those edge pieces away, and I learned quickly from the demonstrator that I was learning from, and who is now my lovely team leader, that you can use these edges and they are fantastic. So thanks, Kelly, for that tip. Way back when. It'll be 12 years in October that I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Can't believe it. Okay, now when you are attaching this, just make sure you've got a nice little border all the way around. Whoops. Don't do that. A little flimsier, but we can do it. Here. There you go. Okay, now you can write a funny little message that nobody will see. It'll be like, ha ha, you smell funny. Next is going to be that piece of designer paper. Of course, both sides are gorgeous, so pick and choose what you would like to use. And we're going to put a little adhesive on the back of that piece so that we can attach it onto our card front. All right. If you have a directional piece of paper, like these pears, they kind of need to face a certain way, then please be conscious right now that you want that arch at the top of your workspace, and then this will face upwards. If you've accidentally turned this over and you attach this upside down, you'll be very, very sad. If you've got dots or striped paper, doesn't matter. There we go. See? Oh, great. So far, so good. Okay, now we're going to do the white panel just on our desk on the side for a moment because it's a little tricky to work on this arch that kind of wants to flop up. Once you add the weight of your pears and get your stamping done off the card, we can attach everything together. So push that guy forward. We're going to bring in our little arch and we're going to bring in a bunch of our pear pieces. So I've done one leaf, one flower, one small set of pears, and one large pear. That's what I'm using for mine. You can use whatever you would like. And it's your choice right now if you would like to go ahead and do your stamping, because then if you make a mistake, you can turn this over and actually have a second shot at it. Or if you want to kind of lay out all your pieces and go from there. But I'm using the Perfectly Paired set. You have a few different alternatives of what you can do. Hello, thank you, friend. I did thank you there, so I think I'll do hello here. And I'm going to just go ahead and put that kind of up in the top right hand of the project. I think you need re-inking, my friend. There we go. Hello. There. If you don't have this stamp set at home, do not stress. You can sub in anything you'd like. And I used Secret C for the ink for that card. If you don't own that one, which you should, it's a gorgeous new in color. No stress. You can just sub in for Night of Navy or even black. If you're using this color palette, then Mossy Meadow or Evening Evergreen, all of those shades would look lovely. Okay? Now we're going to start attaching these things. First things first is this funky little branch. I'm going to use a mini glue dot and just put a dot right on the bottom of my stem so that it attaches kind of right to the top of the pear. This is the pear you're going to work everything else around. So I'll go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of this pear here. Make sure you're supporting the leaves because those can be a little unsteady. And then a couple on the body. Color palette in this paper. It's so rich. Okay, this guy here kind of going along the left hand side, but please, please, please remember, this is your card. If you have a different vision for it, do it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm here to give you guys ideas, but if you want to mix around your pieces and do something else, go for it. All right? This is your time to shine. I always have people who are like, no, I can't do it. You're like designing it. You tell me what to do. And that's great. And then other people are so confident. They're like, nope, I want to turn things this way. I want to do that. And I love it. You guys do whatever is confident and comfortable for you. Okay, a few dimensionals on the back of your little pears. We're going to rest those alongside this one. So actually, maybe I'll move that over a little. There we go. A few little pears, kind of at an angle. And then these flowers, I think they're fun. I'm just going to actually rest it on the bottom of the giant pear. So I'm putting one dimensional down there. Those guys down here. Stack things too. There we go. I like it. Now, since we've stamped, we've assembled, we are ready to attach. We're going to turn this over and put adhesive on the back. So, if you'd like to do dimensionals again, you can, but it is going to start getting quite thick. Keep that in mind. And I'm just going to do some flat adhesive. There we go. And turn that guy around. There'll be I didn't do it on this one, but on this one I made a slight border on the top when I started cutting these pieces down. I liked it better that way. just a teeny tiny border up there. And there you go. See, it's so pretty. There are some gems that, of course, you could add to this card, but I like to let the designer series paper talk sometimes, so I don't always add all the bling, but you certainly can. There's a great set of embellishments that complement this suite, and you can do it with other color combinations too. So here you go. I hope you enjoy this one. That is card number 1. Right, I'm going to keep going. So just a note to anyone who's not finished that one, just click the pause button because this is recorded. And I'm just going to keep it going for the next people, but I have to stay organized. This is ready for club. Okay, card number 2. We're keeping with like nice fall colors. There is a gorgeous bundle in the new catalog. I'm going to show it to you since we have a second. It's a gorgeous bundle in the new catalog. It's very autumn themed. This guy here, it's called Autumn Tulle. We're going to use this bundle next month. Okay, so don't be sad. I was not quite ready to commit fully to fall. So I'm kind of going with like summer with some fall tones this month. But we're going to play with this guy next month. So don't worry, stick around. Had lots of you asking about it. And just an FYI, if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, because unfortunately this video came out after the deadline to subscribe for this month's Paper Pumpkin kit, the Paper Pumpkin for September is based off of the Autumn Tulle. It's meant to complement this kit, so keep that in mind. I always order a couple extras, so if you missed out and didn't sign up and you see sneak peeks of it online, just message me. Chances are I have one left. I've ordered 3 of them, so that's just a little FYI. Okay, we're on to the second card. Here we go. We are using a coneflower bundle that is actually in the annual catalog and kind of making a fallish card with it. It's going to tie also into card number 3 for us. So I've got all my goodies in order. Stamp sets, optional things. Okay. Coneflower Celebrations is a standalone bundle. So there's dies and stamps, but there are no papers that really go with this one per se. So I've seen lots of people combining it with an assortment of designer series papers that we have. The most common one, I'll show you the whole package so you can see it, is going to be the one that we're using today. And that one is Country Woods Designer Series paper. So this pattern package has lots of wood grains, lots of like birch notes, planks, that sort of stuff. This is the pattern we're using. It's just very roughed up, old paint wood. But this is the one that I would suggest grabbing because it complements the coneflower as well as like the Notes and Totes bundle. That one's really cute with it too. So that's an option for you. So I went ahead and I cut out a bunch of pieces using these specialty dies. You'll see them come into play. And then I'm going to show you, if you own this bundle, how you can add a little bit more dimension to the project by stamping the coneflower. If you don't own the bundle, no problem. Use your own sentiments and the card looks great without that extra step. Okay? So I'm giving you a few extra ideas of things you can do if you own other products. Okay, we're going to start here with all of our goodies. Let's get some stuff out of our way just so it's not all piling up. Okay, so we've got a card base. Opens up and down. On the inside of the card here, there should be a piece of white. Oh, no, that one doesn't have one. That's not good. Have one here. Okay, piece of white. We're going to attach that to the inside of the card just using flat adhesive. Now I think it's fun to use this fun little butterfly that is part of the coneflower celebrations. This guy here. So I went ahead and stamped that on the inside of my card just using Secret C. We're using this color a lot this month. Ties in with a lot of different stuff. If you don't have that stamp, don't worry, it's an optional step. And then you should find in your little pile 2 identical pieces of designer paper. So we're going to use just one of them, doesn't matter which one, and attach it across the bottom of your card. When I cut all of the card fronts, I often end up with extra pieces, extra scraps. And instead of just having them sit around or pile up, I like to use them to decorate the insides of my cards. So this is just a 1 by 4 inch strip, but of course, if you've got something left over that's even 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, you can do the same thing, okay? So there's the inside of your card. Very, very simple. Now we're going to get to building the front of the card here, okay? So once again, we have repurposed a base that is hiding in the back. Nobody else is going to see it. So we're going to take this Secret C piece and attach it to the card front using flat adhesive of your choice. Oh, that roll of tape is done. Need another one. There we go. Here. I have lots of stuff on my desk. Go. Okay, this guy should just have the slightest border all the way around it when you attach it. Don't worry, we're going to cover up all those empty spaces, but try to repurpose some of these layers sometimes. Okay, next up is going to be this gorgeous piece of paper. You will notice that it is embossed, and the embossing folder we're going to use both on this card and the next one is this amazing 6 by 8 sunflower 3D embossing folder. It is stunning. Now I've had people ask me which plates you need to use with these big thick folders. That's going to be that big thick plate on the bottom. Then you do need that special 3D plate that does come with the cut and emboss machine. But if you own something older like a Sizzix or a Cuttlebug or something from another manufacturer, you'll have to buy the specialty plate from Stampin' Up. That's what it's called. It's called a specialty plate. It's got an item number 4 in the top right hand corner, and it's gray. So for me, mine is bluish because I bought the original one. It's the same purpose, but you do need that specialty plate if you own a different machine besides the cut and emboss one. So here it is. It's pretty, it's gorgeous, and when you're up close you can see it. When I emboss with it, you can see some of this white from the inside of the paper is kind of starting to come through. Here's an optional step for you. If you're interested, you can go to your garage and find some sandpaper, or you have an excuse to buy something at Home Depot. Just grab some sandpaper and you can use it to brush. Do you see how I'm bringing out a little bit more of that white? So this is a completely optional step. You won't have the sandpaper unless you're at my house. I have some there for people. But do you see how it brings out more white? If you emboss with our two-tone cardstock, you barely have to do this because the white comes out beautifully from just embossing. Okay, so there's a little stepped up deal for you if you want to add some texture. If you want to keep adding texture, you can take a pair of scissors and you're just going to run gently along the edge with them. This will start to kind of break up the fibers on the edge of your paper, and it gives you like that ripped, worn look. So you can do this as much or as little as you want. Just be gentle to start because you don't want to rip your page. Be sad. Just go around the whole perimeter, kind of break it up a little bit. Completely optional, but it does give you a nice country yard feel. All right, that makes a mess. Now we can attach it to our card. Again, flat adhesive of your choice. Whenever you're doing something that's embossed, make sure there's adhesive all the way around the perimeter. Otherwise, it tends to want to lift off the project on you. One more small border all the way around. Okay, this one has a lot of layers. Ready to keep going? Okay, next layer is going to be that small little secret C square. This one we are going to, no, we're not attaching adhesives yet, or dimensionals. We're putting that flat. It's going flat on the card. This one kind of tricks you though, because you're not putting it directly in the center of the card. I should give thanks to Mary Dethridge. She had a card with a similar like layout, and then I decided I wanted to change the color scheme and sentiment and add some stuff to it, but this was kind of her idea. So instead of putting this right in the center, move the blue down just a tiny little bit to the bottom section of the card, and then in the top area, that's where we're going to bring in this last piece of designer paper and kind of top it off. You can see it hiding behind the flower there. So on her card, she has very bright and vibrant colors. We're going very farmyard. So, but thank you for the inspiration. Okay, this piece, if you want that rough look, you're going to pull up towards yourself at kind of a diagonal. I've given you lots of paper. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Up towards yourself at a diagonal, and that gives you this scrappy looking piece that we can put across here now. It's super fun. I love getting ideas from other people and just rolling forward, so I encourage you guys to do that too. Especially with these projects, you can make the one I've given and then you can always modify the next one. Just make it your own. Change a color, change a sentiment. It's a great way to move forward. Okay, looking good so far. Next up, we're going to add a nice white piece that I embossed with that same sunflower embossing folder. If you want to take your scissors once again, you can be a little rougher on this one because it's a cardstock piece, so it's thicker than the designer series paper. But just running the edge of your scissors along breaks it up. So there we go. And then we're going to attach this to the card. Didn't follow my perimeter rule. Oh well. I'm covering most of it up. There we go. It does go over that piece of it, but it doesn't matter. The flower's going over it. Okay, ready? We're going to keep going. We're going to do our cone flower next. So, the cone flower is these two parts. If you own the cone flower stamp set, then you can add a little bit of detail on here with the stamp just to the edge of your flower. If you don't, it's fine. Once everything's attached, you'll see it doesn't really matter. I just need to make sure which side this one. Okay, so this is crushed curry paper. So I'm using crushed curry ink. And we're going to stamp straight down. Very, very subtle. Doesn't matter if it's smudged, because again, it's just hiding underneath there. Okay, first step, we're just going to fold this one up for now. And we're going to put adhesive in this top part of the flower, right here. That's all. And attach the detailed flower die to it. Okay, so the top part will match up, and by default, all the petals will match up. So far, so good. If you didn't stamp, you still have the 2-dimension from the patterned embossing and die cutting to the plain layer. Now again, put a little adhesive in the top part there. And find the brown centerpiece. So this guy right here. This one's kind of fun because it looks rather flat, but if you take your pick tool and just poke out a few of those features, kind of looks like it's got a little bit of life to it from the front. Don't need to do them all, just a few. This should fit right on the top of that flower. We're ready to start building the rest of the flower. So my suggestion is only to add the flower stem next, and then we'll do everything else once it's actually on the card, okay? So the flower stem, though, you want to attach to the inside of your card. Just stick that up in the middle here, and it's up to you how far up you want that. You can always rest this on the card and kind of see, okay, how far down do I want this? Put a little bit of tape over top at the top part there, and then close your flower together. Now we put dimensionals on the back and attach this to the card. So far, so good. Now we need some of the leaves and the sentiment and the other decoration. So I'm going to start with the leaves. You should have 2 solid leaves and then 2 that you just need to sit here and poke out the little papers from. There. To attach these guys together, I usually just use a little bit of Tombow glue, and because the entire perimeter of that leaf is solid, you can actually just put the glue right on the solid part instead of the one with all the dots. Much easier to work with. Just rest that over top. And this will dry clear, so don't worry if there's a little spillage. It'll dry clear. Okay, same thing for this guy. Just tiny dots of adhesive there. Okay, these ones are going to be popped up on dimensionals and then kind of just come out from your stem a little bit. One. Just make sure they don't come off the card. And 2. There we go. And now we're going to add a little bow using this linen thread. So should be large enough, hopefully, to tie a giant bow to your workspace. And then you can adjust it to whatever size you want. It's pretty good. Putting a dot of glue will attach this perfectly, or I like to just use a glue dot. I find they're very easy, and then it's pre-dried. Just stick that kind of where your stems join up, and of course we're covering that with the tip of our sentiment, so it doesn't matter. Once it's on, you can also adjust it a little bit more if you don't love the size. Okay, it's pretty good. Okay, last but not least is going to be a sentiment. Okay, so this little sentiment here, I'm using It's Your Day, just a sentiment that came from the coneflower celebrations right there. It's your day. But if you don't have that one, no stress. Use whatever you've got. We're using Secret C again. And we're going to put that up on dimensionals onto the card. I like to just put the dimensionals right on the white base here. And it can go on however you want. I think maybe, so that's one set of dimensionals. Feel like it's a little low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put 2 dimensionals stacked together. If you've got an embossed image, these come off really easily. So fold them up, stack 2 dimensionals. I think you'll be a lot happier with how it sits. Much better. Look at that. Okay, I need to find my envelope because I forgot my little bumblebee, or I dumped him out somewhere. Okay, there's adorable little bumblebees right there that you can also add to your project. And mine seems to have fluttered away. I'll find him later. But yeah, you can add either a bumblebee or there's a brass butterfly in a few of them too. So whichever one you have, you can attach that right there. I'm going to find a butterfly while you're finishing up. Brushed brass butterflies, and those are the little bumblebees that are also still available, which is great. Do a butterfly. Hey, it's your day. All right, hopefully we're doing okay. This is card number 2 of 3. So let's do the third one. last but not least, I mentioned we're using the sunflower embossing folder. I kind of want to show you, I don't know, I want to show you what to do before showing you the card, but I don't know. Okay, so imagine with me that we have now embossed that beautiful folder with a piece of yellow. It looks great. I could turn that into a card. I could take out all the other materials in my packet. Some of you will have blue, okay? And I could make a card just like that. Or I can do a technique and I can turn this into this simply by adding a little bit of ink after the fact. So I'm going to show you how to do this. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to get inky, you can also do the rest of the card simply with this gorgeous sunflower. Okay, so here's one option. This is what half of you have in your packet, and here's the other color combination that some of you have in your packet. So with to-go kits, it's kind of luck of the draw. Whatever you get, you get. So I guess I'm working with a yellow one, but you guys will do the same thing with this guy here. If you have the blue palette, you're going to find yourself Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, Secret Sea, any of those blue inks to do this. If you're doing this yellow one with me, then I'm using Cajun Craze. You can also use crushed curry or pumpkin pie even, but we're going to grab ourselves this piece of paper that I have pre-embossed for you and do a little bit of fun inking. Okay? You'll need a scrap paper as well. So here's my stack of inks using Cajun Craze. I wanted people to have the option of what they wanted. Okay. You might get a little inky, so you might have to get up and go wash after this, okay? So when you're doing this one, you can see that one side of the paper has the raised sunflowers and one side has the indented sunflowers. I would suggest doing this on the side that has the indents, but of course you could try it on both. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up your ink pad and we're going to gently, gently swipe it from bottom to top. So you're going to want to keep going in one motion, and we're just going to gently, gently press and rub, and you don't need it perfect. You don't need it to touch everywhere, because here it touched quite a lot and it looks very focused, and here it just looks very subtle. So you can do this section too if you want, but it is actually going to be covered. But if you've made like a big boo-boo or you don't like it, you certainly can fix it too. So you can see I was heavier handed here and then lighter here. Whatever you do, it's fine. You can even be heavy-handed the whole way and it'll just fill in the blanks with color. But do you see how different that looks just with one swipe of your ink pad? So now we're ready to do the rest of the card. You don't really need this at the moment anymore. Bring that back for us. Okay, let that dry off, even though it will dry very, very quickly. So inside of our card, easy peasy, you've got another piece of a light cardstock. It's not white. This one's basic beige. We're going to attach that to the middle. And then my butterfly is currently blue because I just did it on the other card, but at class, of course, I would clean it off and people would be able to stamp a butterfly on the inside of this one too. So no fancy paper inside this one. I like it, it's so rustic. All right, here we go. There's that guy for the inside of the card. Now to the front of the card. Don't attach this yet because we need to do a little bit of assembling with our designer paper and then wrapping with some twine. So put your base to the side, grab this guy, and we're going to grab the rest of the stuff from our envelopes for a minute here. Okay, so 1, 2, okay. First things first is going to be those 2 pieces of designer paper. We're going to keep one facing forward and turn one around. So you have 2 different ones. Just like we did at the last project, this is also the Country Woods designer paper. we're pulling up towards ourselves, and just pulling down. It'll give you a rough edge as you go. Get that nice white look. Same for this one. Up, 2, 3. Okay, my suggestion for getting these kind of perfectly aligned on the card is to connect them to each other first. So on the one underneath, which for me, I'm choosing the plank one. I'm gonna put that one under. A little adhesive on the edge of this one. And then I'm going to connect these two together, just making sure the tops and the bottoms are matched up. That's all that matters. Then you can put adhesive on the back of this full piece, so a couple strips probably, and attach it onto the sunflower layer. So you see this part that I didn't do any coloring to, it's getting completely covered, which is why I said you didn't need to waste your time inking it. There we go. Now we are going to rough up our edges once again using our trusty scissors, because might as well. Let's make this rustic. Out at my brother and sister-in-law's place this summer. We did kind of a family gathering out there, and they have gorgeous, gorgeous sunflowers. I don't know what Janelle does to get them to grow so beautifully, but they are amazing. I love them. And the kids thought they were awesome because they were much taller than they were. So that kind of inspired this card. I also saw a card that had elements of this card to it, and I was like, oh, I like that. So I don't remember where that one came from though. My brain just goes. Okay, this guy looks good, but before we attach it, I have given you some linen thread once again to kind of tie in with that rustic look. No bow tying on this one, but if you're interested, we're going to wrap it around the card. So turn your card over and grab a little piece of tape right here, like that, and then have another piece of tape ready, because when we're done wrapping, you're going to want to wrap. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to go up diagonal. You can do this however you want. You're basically wrapping it around 3 times. Okay, so up diagonal, down diagonal, up to the middle, across. Doesn't really matter how you do this, it's your card. Down, just as long as they all crisscross each other, okay? Should be more than enough to wrap it around 3 times. If you don't like how it looks, just rewrap it, okay? So you don't have to follow the directions that I did. Should be more than enough to wrap 3 times. Now, whenever you're happy with how that looks, you can go ahead and put dimensionals on the back. Make sure there's quite a few, because this is a very heavy piece. 3. Couple in the middle, just to stabilize it. There we go. You need the dimensionals because we've added that linen thread in behind. So if you were to put this on flat, it would end up bubbling out and probably wanting to come off the card because the linen thread would be too thick. All right. Now this can go on the front. Give yourself a nice little border. There we go. And onto our sentiment. Here's where it gets fun. Okay, so I really, really like the sentiments in the coneflower celebrations. Some of them are like belated birthday messages, which I think is really fun. So you can do full out happy belated. You've got it's your day, which we used on the other card. You've got a sorry I missed your special day, but I like this one. It said I love that I've known you for so many birthdays, because pretty much you can use it on whatever card you want. Okay, so I'm going to do mine in Cajun Craze because that matches my background color. If you have the blue version, of course, you're going to want to switch out your inks and do something else. Okay, so I'm stamping more towards the left-hand side because I want room for my butterfly. And if you don't have this stamp set, no stress, figure out something else that you want to use and then decide whether you do have room for the butterfly or if you don't want him. That's totally fine too. But I'm going to show you a fun technique that you can do with your butterfly if you want. Okay, this one we need dimensionals for sure to go on the back of that. So your butterfly looks absolutely adorable if you just want to do this. But if you want to add a little shading to the wings, you can grab your Wink of Stella marker and that will give you a little bit of shine and shimmer. Or here's a fun little technique with a blender pen and a white pencil crayon. You can just scribble in a little bit of white to each of those slots. Doesn't have to be pretty because the blender pen is going to move that white around for you. Okay, so a little bit of white to the wings, and then you just grab that blending pen and shade the white in. So the white, when it dries, will give you kind of a shine and a shimmer. So whatever you want, you can grab that Wink of Stella, or if you have these pencils, trying to just show you a few things you can do with them. But do you see the difference in the coloring between the body and that? It's got different tones just by adding the blending, which is kind of very natural for a butterfly. It wouldn't all be a flat one color. So just pulling out different tones from the paper and the white from the marker there. So it'll dry, it'll give you a little bit of staining and kind of marbling for your butterfly, and then you can pop him on your card. Dimensional under that. There you go. And then I did include a few gems on this one. You'll have different colors depending on which card you had. Some of you will have, I think, the green and yellow for this one, or the blue and pink for the blue card. But this take your pick tool will be great to get them off. A little window sheet or vellum. 2 and 3. There we go. There. And there's card number 2. I'll bring back that blue one in case that's the one that you had. Both of them look good. I couldn't decide which one I wanted. In fact, I kind of want to keep playing with different color schemes because once you've got the wood grain paper and then I just have to pick 2 other colors that go together, I feel like the possibilities are endless. So this is one that I probably will do on one of my Tuesday Show Me How It's Done, and maybe you'll tune in and see a different color combination for that one too. I hope you guys had a great time this month. I hope the projects were easy to follow and all your materials were there. If you're missing something, let me know. Or hopefully you have it if it's like a little piece of white or something. But yeah, let me know if you want to come to bingo next week, or if you would like to sign up for any of the future classes as well. I would absolutely love to craft with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys next month or even next week on another Show Me How It's Done, Great North American Stampin' Show, or club video. See you guys. Bye.